It began as a faint smudge on a digital screen, a tiny point of light moving against distant stars. Named 3I Atlas, it was an interstellar object, a rare visitor from beyond our solar system. Initially, it was a scientific curiosity, a time capsule from another star system. Scientists worldwide trained their telescopes on it, measuring its speed and rotation. It seemed like a comet or an elongated asteroid, tumbling slowly as it neared the sun. A faint halo of gas and dust surrounded it, the classic sign of a comet warming up. We thought it was natural debris, a remnant from another solar system's birth. But as it drew closer, its simple story began to unravel. The object was large, several kilometers long, shaped like a rough shard of rock and ice. Its path was predictable, governed by gravity, set to swing around the sun and return to the void. Our window to study it was small, and every major telescope was given time to observe it. We believed its story was one of cosmic geology, but we were about to learn it was more. Our assumptions were based on everything we knew, but the universe was about to speak. 3I Atlas was supposed to be a testament to the grand, empty reality of space, but it revealed something far more complex and unsettling than we imagined. The universe was about to speak, and its voice was not what we expected. As 3I Atlas journeyed through our solar system, small inconsistencies appeared. Its trajectory had tiny deviations, as if something was gently pushing it. Scientists proposed jets of gas from its surface, but the nudges were too regular. Then came the heat readings, revealing pockets of warmth in a network of thermal patterns. These patterns pulsed rhythmically, unlike any natural comet. The warmth seemed to come from within, defying simple explanation. The scientific community buzzed with speculation, but natural explanations fell short. The patterns were too orderly, the energy output too stable. It was as if we were looking at a living thing or something built to mimic life. The mystery deepened, transforming 3I Atlas from curiosity to enigma. The initial excitement of discovery was replaced by awe and fear. The evidence pointed away from a simple rock toward something extraordinary. The universe we thought we knew was vast and empty, but this object felt intentional. The rhythmic pulse of heat was like a heartbeat in the dark. We decided to look closer, to peer beneath the surface with our most powerful eye. The universe was about to reveal its secrets, and we were not prepared. The task fell to the James Webb Space Telescope, capable of seeing in the infrared spectrum. It could pierce through the dust and gas surrounding 3I Atlas. The goal was to map the heat sources and understand their origin. What they found would change human history forever. We were looking for a natural explanation but found a blueprint. The first images were breathtaking, revealing structure beneath the ice and rock. There were clear geometric patterns, not random cracks or geological fissures. It was a grid, a complex network throughout the object's interior. The patterns resembled a city's layout, with main boulevards and side streets. The structure was three-dimensional, with layers extending deep into the heart. It was a city encased in rock and ice, drifting between the stars. The implications were staggering and terrifying. If it was a city, who were the builders? It was not from our solar system. This meant a civilization existed with technology to build on an unimaginable scale. 3I Atlas was not debris, it was a vessel, a messenger, or something else. The thrill of discovery was mixed with dread. We were not alone. Why couldn't these patterns be natural? This was the first question scientists asked. The structures inside 3I Atlas displayed organization nature doesn't create. The repetition of shapes and consistent spacing were hallmarks of intelligent design. Further analysis deepened the certainty. The structures were not rock or ice. They were refined metals and carbon composites, engineered for strength. The city was a literal description of a manufactured environment. It was a habitat, a machine, or both, an artifact of immense age and sophistication. The most obvious comparison was a generation ship, a vessel for interstellar travel. The outer shell served as a shield against radiation and impacts. The internal city was a self-contained world for survival. The heat detected could be from a power source still running after centuries. But the scale was wrong. The design did not feel human. The corridors were immense, the open spaces cavernous. The structure suggested a collective existence not centered on individual life. It was a city, but not built for people. It was built for something else. The universe was revealing its secrets, and we were just beginning to understand. The evidence was now too compelling to ignore. This was no longer a topic for scientific debate. It was a matter of global security. In secret, world leaders were briefed on the data and images. The reaction was disbelief, fear, and a sense of profound change. We had operated under the assumption we were the sole intelligence in our universe. That assumption was shattered. We were no longer alone. A silent, coordinated effort began. 3i Atlas became a closely guarded secret. Radio telescopes were pointed at it, listening for any signal. For weeks, there was nothing but the background hiss of the cosmos. Then, they found it, a complex electromagnetic field from the object's core. It was not random, it had a pattern, a deep repeating cycle. It felt like the hum of a massive operating machine. The object was not dormant, it was active, thinking, processing, or waiting. An active alien artifact of unknown purpose was in our solar system. Humanity was standing before a locked door with no idea what lay beyond. The universe was awake, and it was looking back at us. To understand the structure, we compared it to our own cities and engineering projects. We saw echoes of our logic in its design, a hierarchical structure with central hubs. It suggested a system for distributing resources like power or information. The internal environment was designed for survival, with a thick outer hull for protection. Inside, vast spaces could contain an atmosphere or ecosystem. The energy source at its core spoke of a mastery of physics beyond our own. It was a self-contained world, a masterpiece of survival engineering. But the purpose remained a mystery. Our cities are built for individuals. The city inside 3i Atlas was different, a single, integrated whole. It was designed for a form of life that was either public or perceived space differently. It felt like a beehive or anthill, a collective consciousness on a planetary scale. Or perhaps it was a factory, a processing plant, or a complex computer. The architecture was logical, but the philosophy was utterly alien. We were looking at the work of a mind whose experience of reality was different. The universe was revealing its secrets, and we were just beginning to understand. We were encountering not just alien technology, but a different form of existence. The evidence that this vessel was not built for human-like life was everywhere. The scale was baffling. Corridors and chambers were immense. It suggested beings of immense size, or those that traveled in swarms. Or maybe they were not physical beings at all. There were no familiar amenities, no stairs, ramps, or elevators. The structure was a three-dimensional maze, implying inhabitants could fly or float. There were no signs of life support systems as we know them. The life it supported must have been radically different from us. The electromagnetic field offered another clue. Its complexity was beyond simple communication. Some theorized the field itself was the inhabitant, a form of pure energy or consciousness. The city might be a brain, and the field its thoughts. We were encountering a fundamentally different form of existence. Life did not need to be biological. It could be pure information or energy. We were profoundly out of our depth, like ants trying to understand a supercomputer. The builders of 3i Atlas were different, challenging our definition of life. The universe was revealing its secrets, and we were just beginning to understand. And then, it changed. A new signal appeared, not from 3i Atlas, but from deep interstellar space. It was a powerful pulse of energy aimed at our solar system. Another signal came from a different part of the sky. It was as if our observation of 3i Atlas had tripped a wire. Our act of looking had been noticed, and now, something was responding. The universe was waking up. The signals were not messages we could decode, they were acknowledgments. They confirmed 3i Atlas was part of a network, a system. We had announced our presence to it. The fear turned into cold certainty. We had stumbled into an ancient conversation. The silent, empty universe was gone, replaced by a cosmos of watchful intelligences. 3i Atlas continues on its path, its purpose still a mystery, but it is no longer just a visitor, it is a catalyst. We now know we are not alone, and the future of humanity will be defined by this knowledge. The universe is awake and it is looking back at us.